Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. So, we have some more mysterious booms being heard around the world, and this is important because we have another new development that may explain or maybe deepen the mystery of why people's houses and homes and towns are waking up to rumbling, their houses shaking, strange flashes in the sky all over the world. And well, let's start off with this new report out of India. Residents of a place called Mysuru woke up in a panic to their homes shaking and hearing loud blasts, as they called it, shaking buildings, rattling windows in different parts of India as well, apparently. Panicked residents ran outside of homes as they feared the strange rumblings were caused by an earthquake. However, it was later found out that there was no earthquake, which has been the case in many of these reports all over the world, here in the United States. Now, in this case, an official from the Department of Mines and Geology stated, quote, "Any conclusions would be too fast. People are totally panicking right now, and they are assuming it was an earthquake. The mysterious explosion could have also easily been caused by a quarry blast, and we are currently investigating the source of the intense boom." The report goes on to state that similar mysterious explosions were reported in other villages in different parts of India, leaving terrified residents running outside, trying to figure out what was going on. And here's the kicker: there are no quarries that were actually opened at the time of day that these mystery booms occurred. And so here we have yet again another totally strange happening involving these mystery loud booms. And that brings me to my next piece of information from a viewer of the channel who just last night sent me an email with the subject, "Mystery Boom Future Cover-Up or Real Exercise?" And in this email, he speaks about these mysterious booms being heard all over the nation. And that is when he said he started seeing a press release being circulated around his neighborhood as well as in posts on Facebook. A local military base put out this memo basically saying that if anyone in this area begins hearing some mysterious booms, well, that it's nothing to worry about, and that it's actually just them performing a, quote, week-long exercise. And this is from the Travis Air Force Base in California. And it states that residents in the surrounding communities can, quote, expect to hear excess noise from both simulated explosions and the installation's emergency notification system. And that basically, if you are to hear one of these quote-unquote simulated explosions, that you are not to worry about it. Just go on about your day and don't put another single thought into it. Now, this sounds familiar to me. How many times in the past has something happened that has later been covered up under the guise of a simple military exercise? And so what was so strange about this is that the viewer who emailed it, well, he used to work right by Travis Air Force Base on a construction site. And he said that he had never heard any mysterious booms coming from the base, nor had he ever heard or seen the base talk or speak of these so-called boom exercises, and that it all just sounds really strange to him. So could it all be as simple as just a regular exercise happening at one of these bases? But would that account for the almost endless amount of mysterious booms rattling homes all over the world every single week? Or are the powers that be simply wising up and cleverly disguising these booms due to the public outcry that always occurs after they happen? 911 centers and local authorities being flooded with phone calls, local and even national news stories now taking a look into this mystery. And so is this their way to easily quell those fears and interest in this phenomenon? Well, I guess only time will tell. But a document like this certainly was strange from a man who had worked and lived near one of these bases, had never heard anything like this before, and doesn't believe that these sounds are coming from mere exercises at a local base. So you guys tell me what you think, and let me know if you've gotten a similar memo circulated around your town or state. Be sure to send it in an email or post it to Twitter and send me a link. So now in other news, if you remember in one of our last videos, we were talking about this bizarre discovery of what could only be described as a giant line of clouds wrapping around nearly half of the Earth, discovered in satellite imagery, stretching from Antarctica all the way up to the North Pole, leading people all over the world to wonder what this was. And after close analysis, it was my opinion, as well as the opinion of many others, that this was not a glitch or a stitching artifact. I mean, you could easily tell by zooming in that this looked exactly, only on a much larger scale, like a typical contrail left by a commercial jet, where you could actually see these little rivets and imperfections in the clouds, areas at the end where you could see the line actually dispersing. And as the global cloud satellite data was updated, the mystery line has now disappeared from Google Earth, as you're seeing here. And what's even more interesting today is that now we have some video footage from a viewer who lived directly in the line of sight of this mystery line, who believes that he may have captured this gigantic trail of clouds directly above him. So check these multiple clips out. And just look at how massive this thing is. And as you guys can see here, this massive cloud, which is not a roll cloud. I've seen roll clouds before. This is, a straight shot lined cloud, just like what we're seeing from Google Earth. And as indicated in the footage here, there is no end to this cloud trail. It keeps going from one end of the horizon to the other. There is no end. And this was actually originally posted to the YouTube channel Mr. MBB333. Now, many of you, I'm sure, follow him, but he does great work. I'll put a link to his channel down below. So it was one of his viewers who sent this footage in, and he was kind enough to let us feature it here. And is this ground confirmation? There's something anomalous happening above or with our planet. Again, only time will tell. So big thanks to the viewer who captured this, said he'd never seen anything like it before, and to Mr. MBB333 for his continuing documentation of this phenomenon as well. So stay tuned, I'll definitely post any updates should we get them. And so lastly today, we have a UFO sighting here that was detected by a viewer who was watching one of the news shows on the MSNBC channel, where he captured something in the background that he couldn't explain, and that, according to him, MSNBC later edited out of the clip so that it was no longer showing on TV, but he was lucky enough to find someone online who had actually recorded the entire clip and in doing so captured this strange object here.
Back into the system, and certainly a lot of the things that I did to undo some of that, which got me in a lot of trouble in this town, are now as part of the status quo again. And I think that combination and the rawness of that has really turned this party upside down. I still hold out hope, though, and maybe there is a little bit of naivete there. I've been doing this for so long. You like.
Okay, so very interesting clip here. And again, according to the viewer, this small little clip was later taken out when it was rebroadcast on TV. And so in my analysis here, and what I'm going to do is make this black and white, increase the contrast so we can get the best look at this thing. There's a few things about this. First of all, I don't believe that this object is an airliner or a plane landing, because we can clearly see that this thing is rectangular in shape. It does not have the more thin body of an airliner. There's no tail, there's no engines, there's no wings visible, no nothing. Now, another thing I thought was, well, maybe this is a banner being pulled by an airplane. And at this distance, it should be easy to spot if there is a plane ahead of this object, if that were the case. And while I have reviewed the footage, and there actually is plenty of time before the object actually appears, and never once do we see any object that appears anywhere in the frame before the actual UFO appears. And with this version, with the contrast all the way up, you can bet your bottom dollar that we would definitely see something if this were a plane pulling a banner, but we don't see it. So that leaves us with a bit of a question mark here, and so I wanted to feature it for you guys. What do you think this is? It certainly at this point falls under the UFO moniker. It is unidentified, and so you guys tell me what you think down below. So a lot of interesting stuff that we've gone over today. So much strangeness, as I like to call it, happening down here on Earth, happening up in space, whether we're talking UFOs, strange sounds or lights happening around the world, mystery weather, quote-unquote exercises, and the fun just never stops. So if you want more, be sure to subscribe, stay tuned right here on the channel, and I will get back to work and have a new video up ASAP. So thank you guys again, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you back in just a bit.